Hey folks, your OS Reviews. You're watching our video first look and a quick review of the NB-9. These are a pair of on-ear style Bluetooth headphones which can wirelessly connect to an Android or an iOS device. Also features an integrated microphone for answering and receiving calls. It's a noise cancelling mic as well, which works nicely outdoors. So this particular headphone sells on Amazon for about $35, which isn't too expensive, especially since the color schemes that you can customize it with might make it seem quite premium. It comes in a few other schemes as well. We have the brown version here, kind of a coffee brown. It also comes with a hard shell carrying case. You can see there's dedicated controls on the top, as well as a built-in NFC receiver for easy tap to pair, which is a nice feature you don't find a lot on this very inexpensive Bluetooth headset. So here is the packaging. You can see it's also eco-friendly, can be recycled. The back features some basic info about the unit. What's kind of unique about the NB-9 is it also claims to track your steps. So it comes with this app that's free in the App Store you can download, and then there's a sensor on here, an accelerometer, a gravity sensor that can also act as a pedometer. So it's also kind of a pseudo fitness tracker. Of course, it doesn't have anything else, such as a heart rate monitor, but you can see your steps and calories burned using the app. So quite a fully functional and a fully featured Bluetooth headset. So the case itself is extremely round, something that I didn't really expect, but you can see here it has the company's logo embedded on the front. Not the classiest thing in the world, but there's also a hook that you can use to clamp onto your backpack of sorts. And on the inside there's accessories and also the headphones themselves. So we'll take a closer look at that in a moment. There is also a micro USB cable for charging in addition to an Accelerate 3.5mm headphone cable. So if you don't want to use wireless Bluetooth, you can use it as a wired pair of headphones. That works fairly well, despite not being a flat ribbon wires for tangle prevention. There's also a user manual that documents the various features and also shows you how to set things up with the application. Fairly easy to navigate. And finally, we just have the headphones. So taking a quick look at the headphones, what I like about these is how flexible they are. So you can see that the hinge here allows the headphones to be closed up like so, and then also folded down. So they are extremely comfortable as far as adjustability is concerned. They're also very compact for traveling. There's also a very generous layer of padding on the very top as well as on the actual ear cups. It's made out of this soft memory foam design, and I think it's a very nice soft feeling that when you're wearing these for longer periods of time, you'll come to appreciate. We tested these out for about 5 to 6 hours on a longer flight, and we were still comfortable with the experience overall, so pretty good. It doesn't attract too much heat either, which is nice, so it doesn't build up that heat when you start using them, because they're not over-the-ear style headphones that are super large and bulky, relatively compact. I will say that they are not noise-canceling headphones, so as far as noise isolation goes, not as great as active noise-canceling headphones that we've seen as well on the market, but again, you get a more portable form factor, which is the trade-off. The top features the company's logo. The overall fit and finish is made out of this soft touch material, which doesn't attract too many fingerprints. I think that is one of the highlights here, and there's also a few metal accents here and there, such as from the headband itself, that gives it a sense of confidence and durability. Otherwise, you can see that the controls on one side is just dedicated to the NFC tag for pairing. The other side features the volume controls and also skip track controls, play pause controls, and the center key, which acts as the top key, in fact, acts as a power key, so you can tap on it, as well as a few seconds longer to start the pairing mode. The bottom features the micro USB port for charging, as well as the auxiliary cable port. It takes about 3 hours to completely charge, and then afterwards we got roughly 6 hours of usage out of this using Bluetooth before we need to recharge it again, which is a fair number for a Bluetooth headphone. Of course, it's not as long as we would have liked. It could be slightly longer at 8 or 9 hours, but there's a few components in here that might make it drain battery a little faster. One of those is going to be the NFC receiver on one side. There's also that fitness tracker component. So those things all drain battery, and because you can't manually turn those chip components off, it's probably why the battery isn't the longest in the world. But all in all, very comfortable design, something very sleek while not being too over the top. And again, with this particular color scheme, I think it looks really elegant and a lot more expensive than what the price would otherwise suggest. So as far as sound quality is concerned, we were actually very pleased with the NB-9 pair of headphones. They delivered a pretty clean and crisp sounding experience, with also added a bit of bass in the lower frequencies, so they had a nice punch when you're listening to rock music or maybe a bit of electronic music, and otherwise higher frequencies were also quite balanced. So if you're listening to pop music, electronic music, it makes for a very enjoyable experience. Watching movies, thriller movies, suspense movies, the same thing there. It does a very good job of capturing you and surrounding you in the environment. It does leak a little bit of sound, but overall it's not too crippling, and I think that all in all it's very three-dimensional sounding. I think most users will will enjoy it. For the best audio experience, we do recommend using the provided cable or plugging in your own 3.5mm cable, because using Bluetooth does have a slight amount of static. It's ever so slight. If you turn the volume all the way to the lowest setting, you can detect it. So true audiophiles might not be 100% pleased with that, but again, the price point here I think is just really extremely reasonable for these, and they sound as great as headphones. I would say 3 times its price, which is really saying quite a lot. So a lot of features stacked in here. So audio quality and performance, we give it 2 thumbs up. So next we're going to move into the app. So we're going to check out the pedometer functionality and show you guys what the app looks like on an Android device next. So the app component, which is a free download from the iOS or Android Play Store, is simply called Smart Wear. It's a very generic application that's actually designed for a wealth of these fitness trackers and kind of these interesting new step earphones. Obviously, we're going to select on the latter here, but as you can see here, the app itself isn't the most in-depth thing in the world. In fact, it isn't something that I feel like the company spent a lot of time on, which is okay, because again, this isn't really meant to be used as a primary fitness tracker, but more meant as a secondary add-on kind of feature. So for instance, if I select it on smartwatch, if I go back and also select on step earphone, which is this, it gives me the exact same interface. And you're basically limited to just a step count, a step distance, as well as calories, and then recalibrating this. And it saves it in a calendar view, so you can then compare things with another day, for instance. So that's kind of useful. But otherwise, this is the extent of this application. It says a healthy body, a healthy mood will allow you to, start to use this pedometer and give you a better lifestyle. But that's it. So there's no other features on here, such as looking at, a graph view. There's no other options like sleep tracking, of course. So a very, very simple kind of step pedometer on here that also converts using the software to the number of steps and a distance/calories burned. Otherwise, as far as accuracy is concerned, it does work decently, which is to say if you kind of move around a little bit, it doesn't seem to accidentally trigger too many false movements and false steps. With that being said, it is still not as accurate as other fitness trackers that we've tested out, just because there isn't a calibration configuration screen when you first launch up the app that tells you input your height, input your step length, so that it becomes a bit more of a custom experience, whereas this just is, again, very generic. So sometimes it does trigger a bit more movements if you're in a car or on a train, so not the most accurate thing in the world, but again, it is a feature on here that hopefully becomes better implemented with improvements to the software down the road. So anyways, guys, this has been a quick video first look as well as review of these quite interesting 2-in-1 Bluetooth headphones. The headphones themselves are pretty attractive, I think, fully featured with NFC, with Bluetooth, with this pedometer function from NB, and at this price point, I think it's worth checking out. You can learn more information about these in our official written review, but for now, this has been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS.